Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Dom, and I'm here with Anthony. This is the A Word, and today we are getting into some news, like usual. No surprise there. Surprise, we're not talking about anything. Silent podcast the whole evening.
Silent podcast.
No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so, little fix of news today. I actually wanted to talk about something real quick before we get into other news, but before I get into something real quick before we get into other news, I want to ask you an important question, everybody. So there's been rumors that Apple's going to include a fingerprint scanner in an upcoming iPhone, and if they decide to do so, what would you use it for? I mean, what do you expect to get out of a fingerprint scanner on an iPhone? What would you find it to be useful for? Forget what you think Apple might implement it for. If there was a fingerprint scanner on an iPhone and you could do whatever you want with it, what would you use it for? So be sure to let me know what you think, and well, let us know, I guess, what you think in the comments of YouTube and on the article for this podcast. What would you use a fingerprint scanner for on an iPhone? What would be the purpose of that for you? So other than that, let's move on. Get your answers down below, and we will go ahead and continue on with this. Now, real quick, I wanted to talk about something kind of mind-blowing. And this isn't new news, actually. This actually came out back in early July. There's an app called Candy Crush Saga. Some of you may be familiar with it. Some of you may not, So there's this app, right? And all kinds of questions flowing in. Oh, okay. So, that is an answer to. Okay. Anyway, we'll get into that in a second. So, there's this app called Candy Crush Saga, right? And so this app, I don't really play it, but you have to match up little candies or whatever, and you break out, you break lines and stuff. You know what I mean?
Kind of like Bejeweled.
Exactly. It's pretty much exactly like I've never played it, okay? But from my outside perspective, that's exactly what it looks like. Bejeweled or something like that. Same little game model, I guess. So this app, Candy Crush Saga, back in July 9th, actually, this article came out, and it said that Candy Crush Saga makes, you ready for this? $633,000 a day.
Dang.
Mind-blowing. And let me just say this first, if you don't know, Candy Crush is a free app. You can download it for free in the App Store. So how do they make all this money, right? How are they making $633,000 a day? Well, and this is just according to what I've heard from my wife, right? You get to a certain level in the game, and it becomes extremely difficult. So basically, you have like lives, and you have like special secret moves or something that you can use to get past these levels, right? But you only get like 5 of them when you start out the game.
Yeah.
So once you run out, you have to you're out. You know what I mean? Like, and you can buy these extra lives or like wild card candy or something. I don't really know what the name of them are because I don't play the game, but you guys get the point. You can buy stuff to further advance yourself in this Candy Crush game, and so you can buy like 5 lives or something for $1.99. You can buy.
Not too bad.
Not too bad. When the game is free, it's horrible. You can buy, I don't know, these little secret things that help you, match up lines easier, I guess. So they're all various prices, right? And you can buy those in order to get ahead on the game. Well, my my wife, I just realized this the other day. She in the last few days, my wife has managed to rack up like $70 in Candy Crush charges. And I just noticed this because I don't check like the card that's hooked up to iTunes. I don't check it all the time because I don't need to, because I know when I spend money from it. You know what I mean? And there's no need to check it every day.
Spending $70 worth of Candy Crush.
So last night I go to buy the CD on iTunes, and it keeps declining my card. And I'm like, why is it declining my card? There's money in the account for sure. There's no reason why my card should be declining here. So I called my bank, and they were like, well, so basically, there's a few, transactions that happen very rapidly in your account over the last 24 hours, and it's been sent to our fraud department because it's unusual based on your transaction history. And I was like, what? So I looked at the things, and it was all iTunes purchases. And at first I thought, oh crap, maybe somebody has my account information. For some reason, that was the first thing that went through my mind, right? Obviously, that would be the only thing, because I hadn't purchased anything on iTunes in, weeks.
Yeah.
So, probably not weeks, I don't know, but I think I purchased an app or two. But anyway, hadn't been purchasing frequently on iTunes. And so, so I went in there and looked, right? And what I saw was, within iTunes, within the iTunes app on a Mac, you can actually check your purchase history and get a breakdown of each charge. You know what I mean? With tax and everything all itemized.
Yeah.
All nice. And so I went in there, and it's all Candy Crush Saga, Extra Lives, Candy Crush Saga, this and that. Here, I'm going to go in here real quick, and I'll just read this real fast. But yeah, so I was quite shocked by that, because it seems that my wife has become addicted to
Candy Crush.
paying this Candy Crush game. Not even playing it, paying them. So I went in there, right, and I saw these things, and yeah, it turns out that she had managed to rack up that much money, like $70. And if you want to total it all, for like a couple of weeks ago, she played it, and she was like, hey, do you care? Do you mind if I get these things? Because I didn't know what the game was about, you know what I mean? Like, and I didn't know that.
I still don't know what it's about.
I didn't know that there's certain levels that you have to buy things to get past. Like, literally, she told me, and she's pretty good at these little games because she plays them all the time. And she told me that she was on this level in Candy Crush for 6 months. Seriously.
6 months?
That's what she told me. Yeah. She said she was on one level in Candy Crush for 6 months because she didn't want to pay them to buy lives or whatever. You know what I mean? and so yeah, so she goes and she's asked me, oh, can I buy this and whatever. And I was like, I don't care. Like, if that'll help you get past the level, then that would be cool. So so she bought it, and yeah. So anyway, after that, she just went on this like addiction spree for buying lives on Candy Crush. And yeah, so so basically that totals out to like $80 of stuff since even more than that, actually. Since the I stand corrected. The 21st was the day that the 21st was the first day that she did that, and then that was a $10 charge. There was another $10 charge on the 22nd, $11 on the 26th, $10 on the 2nd of August, $11 on the 2nd of August,
Dang.
$10 on the 3rd of August, $10 on the 3rd of August, another $10 on the 3rd of August, and then another $2 on the 3rd of August.
You guys are just paying that game.
I know. We're contributing to that $633K a day that they're making. So, yeah, and basically what it says right here, Candy Crush Extra Moves, Candy Crush Saga Unlock Next Episode, Candy Crush Saga Bomb Cooler. Like, there's all these different things you can buy in the game that will
just
help
a click
you.
of a button.
Yeah, literally. So you know, after I told, like, I don't think she really realized, like, how much she was spending in this game. And once I told her about that, she went in there and she set restrictions and turned in-app purchases off for herself. So,
that's nice.
So she didn't have to. So she wasn't like buying them anymore like that. Because that's crazy. That gets out of hand, man. Like you can really get out of control.
Get in trouble.
No, you can get out of control with buying these. I mean, how many people are spending their life savings on Candy Crush Saga right now?
I wonder.
They're making $600K a day. You know, a little more than that each day from a free app. And this was launched in September 2012.
I just wonder how many levels can there be?
It's
All you're
infinite.
doing
It's
is-
infinite. It's probably based on algorithms that
No,
set
I
up the
know, and
level.
then-
You know what I mean? And it's infinite amount of levels, and they just get increasingly harder because the number of matching things that
and then
come in
you're
there
just
probably
addicted
lessen.
to it, and you really just want to play.
Yeah.
And you'll do anything. So you just pay $10 a day.
And they have 6.7 million active users playing that game.
Wow,
Yeah,
it's a lot of people.
making 230 million per year. And on average, the estimate means that each individual player is spending around $2.84 in Candy Crush Saga each day.
That's ridiculous.
That's on an individual level, though, on an average. So obviously, some people are
Yeah.
spending more, some people are spending less. But that is crazy. So watch out. Watch your kids. Watch your parents.
Watch your kids around
Watch
Candy
your grandma.
Crush.
Don't let them get addicted to Candy Crush. You got to get them off that Candy Crush. It sounds like some I don't know,
Bad thing.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is an interesting comparison that I wanted to point out, and it's no surprise that Microsoft hasn't been doing the greatest as far as the Surface goes, right? The Surface tablet. It was released, and I thought, honestly, for a second, until they announced, because when they first announced that they were doing like a tablet like this, I thought it had some kind of potential, you know? Then there was like two versions. There was a light version that couldn't run full Windows, and not that I even like Windows, but there's a light version that couldn't run full Windows. There's and then there's a regular version, and then it came out that, you know, when you buy a 32 gigabyte Surface, there's only like half of the space available because of how much Windows takes up on this tablet. But so
It's pretty sad, by the way.
okay, this was published on July 30th, 2013 on The Loop, on loopinsight.com. Microsoft sells 1.7 million Surface tablets in 8 months. Now, that sounds like a lot. I mean, if you sell 1.7 million Surface tablets at $500 plus a pop, that's a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that seems good.
It's about
okay.
Yeah.
I'll take that for what it's worth. That's a lot of money. But let's put this into some perspective here. So, Microsoft sold an estimated 1.7 million Surface tablets over 8 months since its launch. And
8 months, right?
Yeah, 8 months. That's not even a year, and they sold 1.7 million. That's a lot of people with a Surface tablet.
Yeah.
So, in perspective, though, Apple sold 3 million iPads in 3 days last November.
3 days. That's
November 2012. In 3
million
days.
$1 million a day.
Yeah. In 3 days, they sold 3 million iPads. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot more. Okay, so Apple sold 14.6 million iPads in the last quarter.
Yeah.
That's a lot. At $500 a pop.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
insane.
no, they're saying this is
It
probably
ranges,
mini.
of course.
This is probably mini, iPad 2, and
Yeah.
of course they have, currently like 3 different models of iPad out for sale. You know, the iPad mini, the iPad 2nd generation, the iPad 4th generation out on sale. So obviously there's 3 products versus 2 products, but I don't think the comparison, I don't think that even matters at this point. Like
The 3-day thing is what matters.
So here's what's funny. So 1.7 million Surface tablets in 8 months. Apple sold 57 million iPads since Microsoft began selling the Surface.
That's funny.
Yeah. So
They definitely are not hurting at all.
it kind of it's your man. I hope the Xbox One pans out well for Microsoft, because if it doesn't, they're going to be in some trouble.
I think Microsoft
I mean, the Xbox will do fine, but I think
Yeah.
the entertainment division is the only thing keeping that company alive right now. And not to be mean, I mean, that's the cold-hearted truth, you know. Surface wasn't a big hit. They're reaching for things to be successful, but it's just not working out. Microsoft needs to think differently, I think.
But Correct.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's get into this main point of discussion here tonight. So iOS 7 Beta 4 was released on Monday, this last Monday, I believe, on the whatever the date was that day. I don't know. I don't keep track of those things anymore. The 29th. And inside of iOS 7 Beta 4, there's some code that points to a home button fingerprint sensor for the next iPhone. Well, possibly for the next iPhone. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to be in the next generation iPhone, but it's very likely after seeing this. Very definitely likely here.
Do you think it's a likely story that it might just be in a different device like an iPad? Or do you think it would be in a multiple range of devices?
I don't know. You know, there's no indication either way. But
okay.
So with that said, so back in 2012, right? This was what day was this when this news came out? This was July 27th, 2012, right around then.
A year ago.
Yeah, about a year ago. Apple purchased this mobile security firm called Authentic, and there was a few phones, the Atrix, I think, the Motorola Atrix, yeah. The Motorola Atrix has a fingerprint scanner in it, right? It's got like a little thing to, I believe it does, on the back, yeah. It's got a fingerprint scanner.
Yeah.
That allows you to like unlock it or whatever. So Authentic is a company that's behind that. And Apple purchased that company, right? And obviously you don't purchase a fingerprint scanner company unless you plan on doing something with it. But it was said that Apple purchased them for $356 million. And we actually talked about this. We talked about this when this happened. And we were saying even then, you don't spend $350 million just because. Mm-hmm. You know, you're going to do something with it eventually. So this was a year ago.
Or they just wanted to take it away from Motorola.
And I mean,
doubt that.
Back then, everybody was like, oh, they're going to put a fingerprint scanner in the iPhone 5 for sure. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we thought. We all thought that a year ago. But that didn't end up happening. And now, let's back to the beginning of the story. iOS 7 Beta 4 was released last Monday. And inside of the code, there was some indications, some stuff found that indicates that there will be a fingerprint scanner in a future iPhone. Now, this was first spotted by Hamza Sood, and you can find him on Twitter. I'll drop the link to the specific tweet in the article and in the YouTube description or whatever. But inside of the code here, right? So there's different bundles inside of iOS, from a code standpoint, there's different folders that have different bundles inside of them. And one of them, it's inside of the accessories bundles folder inside of the iOS 7. If you extract all the files from the IPSW that you use to install iOS 7, you can get all these folders and stuff. So inside of one of the folders, there's something called accessory bundles. And inside of the accessory bundles folder is where this gentleman discovered biometric kit UI.ax bundle. So inside of that bundle, there's a specific file that has some stuff listed in here, and it's a property list file. And if you're unfamiliar with that, it's basically it lays out different keys and strings to be called upon within like the user interface of an app or whatever. Maybe I'm explaining that wrong, but who cares? You guys hopefully get the point. So inside of here, there's a key inside of this plist file that's called enroll.tutor.image.label.write.hand. And the description for that key is photo of a person holding an iPhone with their right hand while touching the home button with their thumb. And then right under that, there's another key that's called fingerprint.image. And then the description for that image is a fingerprint that changes color during the setup process. Right below that, there is a key called fingerprint.status. And then it says recognition is blank % complete. There's a placeholder for the value that's supposed to go there. You know what I mean? So basically, this appears to me to be like when you're setting up the iPhone, when you first set up iOS 7 on the 5S or whatever.
That you're gonna have.
This is the tutorial that it guides you through to set up the fingerprint scanner, right? That's exactly what this appears to be. And I'll be sure to link to this image and everything so you guys can check it out if you want to, because it's pretty interesting. I mean, and this is where the discussion comes into play that I asked earlier. So what possibly could you see Apple using a fingerprint scanner for? Forget what the logical methods or what's likely.
Scanning fingerprints.
Yeah, forget what is they're likely to use it for. But what would you prefer them to use it for? Now, one person chimed in via Twitter, said, I think I would use the fingerprint scanner for PayPal payments. That's, I mean, if you take that statement from an overall standpoint, and that was from let me see. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Lakota D Lustig on Twitter, right? So that's what he said. He would prefer to make it to use PayPal payments. Now, looking at that statement from an overall standpoint, mobile payments is a big yes for me too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you could be anywhere. Let's hypothetically, which I doubt it will, maybe Apple includes NFC in another iPhone. And you could just be at the thing, hold your home button, put your finger over your home button and pay with your thing. And so not only is it authenticating that your phone is next to an NFC thing to make the payment, but you also your thumb. Yeah, it's you. So that is another thing. I obviously unlocking your device is definitely something that's, you would assume that would be a feature.
Definitely.
I think also protected apps.
Yeah, restrictions.
If you don't want somebody to be using if you don't want somebody to pick up your phone and just hop on your Twitter account, you can have it set up to only log into Twitter if your fingerprint is recognized.
Yeah. Definitely. Mobile banking is one of my big ones.
Now here's the thing though, that will hinder something like mobile banking is if Apple decides not to open up the APIs to use the fingerprint scanner.
Yeah.
So and that very well may be the case because there also are security precautions to consider. Yeah. If you're opening a public API for a fingerprint scanner that's used to secure things,
anybody can figure out how to do it.
Anybody can use the API for whatever, and but obviously people are going to figure it out regardless.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a toss up there.
It'll be legal for them to use it.
I wouldn't say legal.
Well,
it's not about a matter of
maybe legal wasn't the right word. Maybe it'd be out there.
It'd be acceptable and acceptable to App Store submissions
and more accessible is what I.
Yeah, but so thinking about that, what else would you like to see? For what else did you like to see a fingerprint scanner used for? I mean, obviously there's ton of things. My big thing, I think, would be just protected accounts or protected apps.
Yeah.
Like you could protect the Messages app with a thumb thing, And if the thumb thing was right in the home button, it's really not that inconvenient to just tap on the Notes app and put your thumb there, and if it was seamless enough to just launch the app, like what I wouldn't want to see is you tap on the Messages app, then you have to put your thing there, and then you see this little scan thing go down your screen, and like have to scan your fingerprint. You have to wait and then open it. I think if it was just tap, home button, open, like seamless,
that'd be nice.
I think it could be really cool. I think it could be definitely a cool implementation. But we want to know what you guys would prefer that Apple use this fingerprint scanner for. I've kind of stated my guesstimations there. But like I said, this is not necessarily meaning that this is going to be in the 5S.
It could not even be the next couple.
Yeah, somebody could have just flubbed up over at Apple HQ and left this in there because
Yeah.
they're probably, I mean, it's guaranteed that they're testing stuff. With this code here, it's guaranteed that they're testing it. And they're probably testing. They're probably testing using a unicorn horn to extend your antenna range or something. I don't know, but
they probably didn't just put it in there just because.
Yeah, but somebody probably accidentally left it in there. I don't think this is just like a controlled leak on Apple's part.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that they go out there with this kind of big information and leak it like that on purpose. I think somebody lost their job over this one.
Details.
Yeah. Somebody put a decimal point in the wrong place and lost their job over this one.
What happens?
What? Oh, that's just Airport being stupid. He was pointing to the computer, to the MacBook Pro behind me. Airport utility has a new update, but I'm not going to update it because if I do, then it's gonna kill the internet connection, which will not be good for this moment in time. So, let us know what you think about this fingerprint scanner thing. I don't know. It's really interesting to see. I hope. Here's what I hope overall. What were you saying? Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say I hope that they change the home button to a kind of a touch-sensitive button that also might have a fingerprint scanner behind it.
See, that's exactly what I was just going to say is, well, kind of.
Kind of.
I hope that the fingerprint scanner doesn't affect the aesthetics of the home button.
Okay. So
you know what I mean?
I like the home button as it is.
I hope that if you look at a picture of like the Motorola Atrix, if you guys Google that, just Google that with me right now. Google Motorola Atrix and then click on images or whatever. And if you look at the back of the Atrix, right, there's this little thing that looks like it would emit like an IR, it's like an IR sensor or something. I don't want something ugly like that on the iPhone.
Yeah, you want something.
I want it to be integrated. It would be so awesome if it was.
Why on the back?
Because when you're holding your phone like this, you just, I mean, but anyway, I hope that it doesn't affect the style of the home button, and I hope we don't have I hope they can somehow integrate it into like the button itself instead of having a fingerprint sensor on the phone, which just seems kind of gimmicky to me. If it's there and it's integrated with something that was already there, I think it'll be used more than if it was a standalone fingerprint scanner on the back.
Maybe it's already in there, and they're gonna listen, and they're gonna use the screen. It has something in there.
I read something about,
and it's just gonna be on the screen, like you're talking about, how you put your finger on there and it scans it.
Hold on, I'm trying to Google something. Oh yeah, this was just a few days ago. I just pulled this article off of iDownload blog. Apple patents OLED embedded sensors to improve iPhone display. Now, this isn't fingerprint sensors or anything. They're talking about. Let me see what they're talking about. Okay, yeah, it's a way. It says the patent describes a way to employ photodiode sensors. Photodiode sensors to more accurately detect when portions of the screen are shaded and require less power. So it could dynamically adjust the brightness of your phone. Which is kind of a cool idea. But that doesn't say fingerprint sensor. I don't think that they're at that point where they could do something like that. But I think that's definitely an option in the future, just to be able to put your fingerprint on the screen. And do something crazy like that anywhere on the screen.
Well, do you think it's possible for a sensor to pick up, to be that sensitive to pick up a fingerprint, within the screen?
I don't know.
Just by you pressing down on it or some sort of way.
I'm not really sure. And obviously only time will tell with that one, but it'd be nice to see what Apple does with this fingerprint sensor technology. I mean, obviously they have plans for it, but we'll never know until it's released. I don't know if I can necessarily expect that to be in the iPhone 5S or not. It just seems like Apple's and maybe they're trying to break the trend with this, but usually their S models are, just incremental upgrades, whereas the solid number models are just like, bam, here's an awesome piece of thing,
Well, and maybe Fingerprint's not bam. Maybe it's not that awesome.
Maybe not to them. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they have better things coming for the next actual upgrade.
I mean, you have to think of what normal people care about, too. Do normal people care about fingerprint scanner, or do just geeks care about that? I mean, fingerprint scanner sounds
geeks
cool.
And normal are alike in that kind of situation, I think.
Fingerprint scanner sounds cool, I think, to the regular person,
Mm-hmm.
But so does 40 megapixel camera, too.
Yeah.
So I think 40 megapixel camera trumps fingerprint scanner.
And I think it'll be nice to see, like, if that is something that's going on, what they're going to do with it and how they're going to implement, like we were saying, with the fingerprint scan on the home button.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
So nice.
Let us know what you would like to see Apple use a fingerprint scanner for, or not even what you would like Apple to use it for. What would you use it for personally? What would be the best feature you could use a fingerprint scanner for? Be sure to let us know. And also, on another note, we'll be starting another giveaway this next coming week, and I will give you a hint. It rhymes with knife roof. So, knife roof giveaway coming up. No, it's not knives or roofs. I'm not going to retile your roof for you. And it is. It also rhymes with otter roof.
Otter roof.
That's kind of a funny play on words because of the recent acquisition by said company that I am. Never mind. So, rate us, subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, and drop us some comments on today's discussion. So, thanks again for listening, everybody. We will be back next week. We really appreciate all the support. We will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.